Financial literacy encompasses just about every aspect of our everyday lives because it gives us the knowledge, the wisdom, and the skills on how to manage our finances. So today, I have with me Ryonda Hall, who I'm so excited to have with me, who is the founder, owner, and CEO of OCD Financial. And she is also a lifestyle strategist, financial lifestyle strategist. So we are so happy to have her, especially in this season when so many things are going on, and when we are receiving things in the mail, we want to know exactly how to handle it and what to expect, especially when it's time for those taxes next year. So I just wanted to have this conversation with Ryonda and for her to share with us some wisdom and knowledge. And also, I think I read somewhere OCD twice.
Yes, a double dose.
Double dose of OCD.
Yeah.
So you gotta tell us what does that mean?
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
The business, of course, is OCD, but they both kind of the name of the business came into fruition right about the same time as I was diagnosed with OCD.
Okay.
And so it became just that, the double dose. So most people know that, OCD, generally an acronym for obsessive compulsive disorder, but at the same time and trying to find a name for my business and how I derive from the name of the business, the OCD acronym became obedience, character, and discipline.
Oh,
and
wonderful. So how has, and we'll get into the financial part of it, but how has knowing that you have OCD, which now when I hear it, I'm thinking about, you gotta, maybe you go back and check the napkin, see if you folded it right multiple times, and everything has to be just right. If it isn't, you're gonna do it over and over and over again, that obsession.
Yeah.
So how does that relate to your financial business?
Yeah, well, on a personal sense, it is just that. It has a lot to do with repetitive checking, perfectionism, really continuing to do things over and over, having an extremely high standard for completion of things, and then the crossover into finances and work. I actually use it now more so as a strength in the business because it does carry over into checking my work. I've been a numbers fanatic for years. Always loved math and numbers has just been my thing. And so when you tie that with someone who is has those tendencies to check and recheck and check and recheck, that is pretty much kind of how it falls into the business. Like, I will find a penny. I will not be done until things match up exactly. And so I just have the patience to continue to find things and to make sure that things are exactly right. So I just use it as a benefit in the business.
Excellent. So you've always had this mind for math, and what about the desire to own your own business?
Well, that's ironic because truthfully, I never had a desire to be an entrepreneur. I can't say that it was like this lifelong drive. What I did have was just a lifelong love of, again, math and numbers. In school, that was pretty much my only desire was math class. Didn't pretty much care about anything else. Math and computers.
That was my least.
So that was my
least.
love.
No.
And I could sit in. I took multiple math classes, multiple coding classes, and so by degree, I am actually a computer programmer. So it's just how my mind ticks. Very logical based, all around numbers and logic. And so it's just always been how I function. So I actually I started my business 6 years ago.
Okay.
And I started it after I left the same company in corporate America after 18 years. So I served notice and I just stepped out on faith and decided to do my own thing. And so when I just looked at what is it that I can do as a business owner, what is it that I love to do that I was doing before that I wasn't even getting paid for, and that was to do taxes and just do money management and help people budget and that sort of thing. So now I get to do what I love and govern myself.
That is absolutely great when we can do what we love to do.
Yep.
And you do it on your own terms.
Yep.
And set it up the way that you want.
That's right.
And so that is really great, especially in this season when a lot of people are going more towards that entrepreneur spirit and wanting to step out, especially with different companies closing,
right,
or they're laying off, and so this is a time when people are stepping out. And so my goal has been recently to bring in entrepreneurs, especially women of color, to kind of speak to those who are thinking or maybe have the same type of passion, that you can actually step out and do this.
Definitely.
And I'm sure, you said 6 years ago, so I'm sure when you started, you had to take some steps.
That's right.
In order to get where you are.
That's right.
So could you kind of share just a little bit?
Yeah, of course it is. It does take planning. It takes planning and making sure that you have done your due diligence and and just research to know, is this a good thing for you, and the timing.
So timing is important.
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
And so that first year of the 6 years was a transitional year. So I was still working full time, and so I used that year to transition until.
So you just didn't quit cold turkey with nothing.
That's right. That's right.
Okay, so it was
was
a smart move.
Yep.
So it was a transition.
That's right. And so but I couldn't work the business as much. Obviously, when you working full time, and that sometimes is a lot of times is a struggle for someone wanting to start their own business and do it full time, either because the finances aren't there. Well, a lot of times it's just that, and so you have to do you work your full time job, and then you're exhausted from trying to work and build this business. So my prayer during that time was, I felt like it was overwhelming. I was like, Lord, I can't handle both. And so my prayer was just, please make provision so that I can leave here, because this is what I want to do all the time. And so I gave myself a year, and after 9 months, I was like, I'm not gonna make it to a year. And so I was left. I believe the guy just was like, you can go ahead and leave. That's right. And that's
I know
what
that was an awesome feeling.
It was.
To do what you did what you had to do in order to do what you wanted to do.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yep. It paid off. It paid off.
Well, congratulations again on your business. I see where you do workshops. You present. You're at different places, presenting to groups, educating, informing. So you're available for the community, from what I see, to help with strategizing and how to handle finances.
That's right. And I try to accept whatever engagements or anything that I'm offered to come and speak and just share my time, even if it's just a short allotted time, just to drop the educational nuggets around finances, especially around business, for that reason. Because a lot of small businesses will start, and I always say that we can be good at what we do, our talent or whatever that starts the business, whatever that field is or service or product, but a lot of people don't know the financial, the backside of a business. And so they can be good at whatever that skill is, but we see a lot of small business failure after the first year, after the first few years, either because they're in tax trouble, because no one taught them how to keep those numbers and the financial stuff on the background. So I literally love educating small businesses on how to keep your numbers and what you're doing it for, so they don't fall into that trap after the first year.
So if someone is starting or thinking about starting, and they have the passion, they have the know-how, but they don't have the financial end of it. So they can go online to ocdfinancial.com, right?
That is right.
And connect with you, and you will help walk them through with bookkeeping and what else?
So, bookkeeping, account setting up their finances in the background, understanding how their point of sale ties in with the business, help them understand, having employees, paying payroll, payroll taxes, sales tax, which is also important. Making sure that they just don't default in any of those tax areas. And just how to keep track of that and set up an accounting software and all things money.
Wow.
when it comes to the business, set a business budget, all of that, just everything that we can do to try to avoid the failure. Yeah, we want to be successful coming out the gate and to start early. I always say if you do it in the beginning and not do it incorrect along the way, then you don't have to be retroactive and try to fix what you've already messed up.
So it should be a part of your initial planning.
Definitely.
And you know that that's not your strength, then
that's
seek
right.
out OCD Financial.
Yes, seek out OCD Financial, outsource, get the help.
Get the help.
Yep.
So when it comes to switching a little bit to, we've received all over the country because of the pandemic support, the stimulus check, and I think there's a, what is it, PP?
Business loan, PPP.
Yeah, all of that.
Yeah.
By the end, at the beginning of next year, are those taxable? I mean, will people have to pay taxes on the stimulus check or the PPE compensation?
So they're actually treated differently. Okay. So from a business standpoint, the PPP loans were for businesses, and those were grants, for possible forgivable grants and or loans. Okay.
I heard the word possible.
That is right. So that means that if you are able to prove and show documentation when it comes time that you used your PPP loan funds for the things that you were supposed to use it for, then they are to grant you forgiveness on the funds that you received.
So what type of records should you be keeping then?
So
as you go along, so that when that time comes, you're ready.
That's right. So that's why it's vital that businesses that have some sort of system, an accounting system to track spending and such, because you have to have those documents. Now, in order for someone to even get the PPP loan up front, most people should have had to provide some sort of documents in the first place. So hopefully they have a system in place. But yeah, you will need to show that you use the money for payroll. You will need to show that you used, for mortgage and interest and those sort of things that they allowed you to use it for. And if you can't prove those things, that is when the funds turn to a loan, where then you're going to need to pay those back if you cannot show your documentation.
So not only will you pay taxes, but you got to pay back the loan.
That is right. That's right, because it is going to be considered income. So right now, from a business standpoint, it's loan, but loan money is still business income.
Okay.
Yeah.
But stimulus checks, that's different.
Stimulus checks, those were from an individual standpoint, and those were different. So that was not, according to how they presented it, the government presented it, those are not supposed to be taxed income. Those are supposed to be what we call refundable credits. So it's whereas when you will see it referenced most likely on your tax return next year, but it doesn't go at the beginning with your income. Your tax return is separated into different sections, with the top being income, all the income that came into your house. And then at the very end, the government issues refundable credits, which means that the government gave you a credit for something and you can actually take the money back out. We've had previous different refundable credits along the way, but it's not income where you will add it into your W-2s and that sort of thing.
Oh, that's
Yep.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
But speak to people who are receiving, who maybe are not retired, but do get Social Security income.
Sure.
But they're not retired, so they have the income plus that. So
Gotcha.
will all that be compiled together?
That's right. That's right. And that's from, and that's all the time. So that isn't something new that's come about at all. That has been that way. That is just, I think overall, the thing to know when it comes to taxes is people really just need to be educated on what you have to pay taxes on. It's very disheartening just for anyone at the end of the year during tax season. That's probably the worst, I would have to say the worst part of my job is to tell people they owe, and especially to tell them they owe a lot. But that is why I tag a line with OCD as saying, I don't just do tax preparation, I do tax preparation and education. Okay. And so I make sure that my clients aren't just coming to me to get their returns done, like they can go anywhere else at any tax preparation franchise. When they come to me, I educate them on why you owe, why you got a refund, all the whys behind it. And so when you talk about Social Security, those are some of the things that I've had to educate some of my elder clients on, because Social Security is treated as income when it is over and when your total income is over and above a particular limit. So if you imagine, if you are still, when you cross that transition from working a full-time job and you're still working there, and you start drawing Social Security, then Social Security is treated like it's a job too. So if you can imagine, if you don't have any taxes come out of it, it's almost like you went and got a second job and you told them don't take any taxes out. And then at the end of the year, all of a sudden you have to pay taxes on it.
Okay. I do understand what you're saying. I just think it's so unfair. Because for so many years you pay into it.
Right.
And then when it's time to draw something out, you got to pay taxes on it too.
Well, if you think about it, Social Security comes out of your check, but it's pre-tax. Well, it is the tax. So it comes off the top. So you're really not paying a tax on the money that they withdrew out of your check that was the tax. If that makes any sense.
No, it does not.
Okay.
But that's why you are the financial strategist.
Yeah. So it's not double taxed. It's not actually double taxed. But I know. That's the way it seemed to me, and I get it.
So Rhonda, when it comes to unemployment checks, taxable income or what?
Yes, unemployment is taxable income.
Okay.
So those are just that question is such a great nugget for someone to know, because for all the people that may be out here receiving unemployment, that can be another catch-22, just like the Social Security. So if you didn't elect to have income tax come out of it, you may be getting, that extra $600 from the government plus your $300 or whatever from the state. People were getting paid with that unemployment every single week. But if they did not either elect to have it come out or take some out themselves and put it up on a savings, then at tax time, it's going to be some big surprises.
So you can do the same thing with your Social Security. You can elect to have taxes taken out before you get it.
That's right.
So if you know yourself, then
that's right. If you know you're not going to save, elect and just have them taken out, just like a job would. Or if you don't want to have the SSA take it out, and you still work another job, you can elect to just have more taken out of your full-time job to cover the Social Security. Or you can put it up in a savings yourself. So you actually have 3 options.
Okay. So tell us the benefit then of when it comes to our financial planning and knowing how important it is to know these things, especially up front. than of going to an organization or going to a strategist such as yourself.
Yeah. Well, the biggest benefit, like I said, that's why I stress it so much, is the educational piece. You can do your taxes yourself. There's plenty of people out here knowledgeable enough to do their taxes themselves and use the online softwares. But I even always say what you don't know is what you don't know. Mm-hmm. And so you still have to know what you're doing inside of a software. So if you don't know the right questions to ask, or if it's if it's right or wrong, those can mess up as well, because you only know what you know, and what you don't know, you don't know. Mm-hmm. And then at the same time, there's plenty of people who use, the franchises, and they just drop their taxes off, get their taxes done, go back, pick them up. But there's so much more benefit in having your own personal tax preparer who you can call up, you can ask questions, you can say, I have a change in my family status, who can advise you maybe how to fill out your W-4, what's best for you, and just to be able to do that planning with you and tell you, what to do from year to year, and just sit down and review your taxes and your situation and educate you.
That educate part is monumental, because that's like half the battle. Mm-hmm. Knowing, and there's some comfort in knowing. Yeah, when you can sit down and go through line by line.
That's right. And
kind of help a person prepare.
That's right.
Even for the future and all that. So.
Yeah.
Okay. That was some great information, but that kind of got me there. But
it takes the stress out of it. Knowledge removes the stress, and so that I really I even add that in my generally, like in my bio, when explaining why I love doing what I do, because I feel like once I share and educate, it literally can remove some of the stress away from taxes and money and that when you gain knowledge. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to close with this. I did look at this statement, and I thought it was so befitting for today. Yeah. And it's definitely befitting after what you just said, by Robert Boyce. He said, knowledge is power. Knowledge shared is power multiplied. And that's kind of what you just said. Mm-hmm. So thank you again, Ryonda Hall, OCD Financials. So if you would like additional information, or you would like to know more about her business, please go to ocdfinancials.com. .com. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.